Welcome to the FTSE Day review of the market on the 11th of the 2nd. We've not done one of these for ages, so hope we'll get something out of it. I know it's easy to retrospective trade, and there's a lot of people do that, but we send out a members email, excuse me, pre 8 o'clock, normally between 6 and 7, of what we're looking for the day, which is based on, we do a mixture of technical analysis and fundamental analysis to look to call direction. We don't always get it right, it'd be a fool to say that. But we get it right more times than we get it wrong, and if we get it wrong, then we can adjust during the day. So yesterday the email went out, and it was basically, it's going to be a range bound day. Reasons why? Well, Asia was on holiday for the new year. There's no major news out as well, so that was quite easy to call. And it does make me laugh. I got an email about 10 o'clock from one of the the newsletters, the free ones you subscribe to, and some market analyst, some guy that probably works, gets £100,000 a year or whatever, certainly doesn't fly in the back of planes like I do, said, oh, the FTSE is going to have lack of direction today, it's going to be choppy because of the holidays. And I posted it in our room. It made a few people laugh, because they said, look, they read your email, Mike, but it's not rocket science, and it does take time, and it is frustrating for new people that can't see it sometimes. But that's why we do the email for, to tell people what we're looking at, what we're expecting. Obviously we can't control the market, we can control ourselves, and I think if you realise that and just accept it, it suddenly makes you a better trader. I think the people that, we do have a bit of a saying, and I've experienced it myself, because we've been doing the live room for over a year now, well 18 months, including when we did it for free. And being blunt, people that are academically gifted, or they've sailed through university, they've got high flying jobs, sometimes they're the worst traders, because they've never been beaten, because they're in control. And I always have this saying, because we trade patterns, and I know we're not allowed to do it, but honestly I could teach kids to trade, because they'd have no emotional attachment to money. They'd sit there and give them some patterns and say, look, when you see this pattern, do this, click this button, when you've seen this, click that button, and they'd do it, because they have no emotions attachments. They just see it as a big game. You could make a video game out of trading, to be honest. So we do. I have found from experience that educated people, sometimes you really got to step back and accept it. And certainly from the people that we've trained and have gone on to make decent profits. I got an email yesterday from one of our members who was struggling when he started. He's only been a member for 3, 4, 5 months, and we do recommend a minimum of 3 months. Otherwise, you're just not going to get what we do. And he's making 120 to 170 points a month, which a lot of people may think that's not a lot, but with compounding it can be as much as you want. He basically said, "Am I doing okay?" It's like, yeah, but myself and Simon both emailed him back and said, "You're doing absolutely fantastic. You don't have to make 200 points a day or 200 points a week. You just need to stick to the rules and use our spreadsheet or your own compounding spreadsheet." Anyway, digress. So, pre-open, in the email I said 62.50 would more than likely have to be tested, because that would prove key if we're going to be range bound. Because obviously we always use 50 and 00 as we call them magic numbers. They're not really, but it's just our name for them. But so you can see from 7 o'clock down to 8 o'clock pre-open, we got what we call our opening reversal setup. Now I called it in our room just to go along on the open, but unfortunately my my internet was very ropey. It was up and down, so I couldn't take the trade myself. But as you can see, I'm just going to scroll across and it is a bit of an advanced trade. We have 13 or 14 setups. They're just patterns, but we just wait and see the patterns. So we've got some pre-open, some during the day, some in the evenings before USA close, and some overnighters as well. We try and accommodate people that have to work during the day, people that can trade all day, and people that can only trade in the evening, and longer term traders. We always have this saying that it doesn't really matter what, you can trade the same patterns on a daily, a weekly, a monthly, probably even a yearly, or on a 1 minute, or even 1 minute. I mean, I trade off a 3 minute chart. because I just want to be in the market for a few minutes. I do not want to be in for hours and hours and hours. That's just not my style. But that's the point. You need to find your own style, and a lot of people don't get that. Anyway, so we called pre-open on our members' Twitter, on the email. Look for 50 to hold. It spiked down a little bit, but you're always going to get a little bit of a spike on the opens. The market normalises, as I call it. So people were long, and then we get this, this test back down to 50. And if the fact the market does not want to go down to 50, there's only one way it's going. Quite a few people just took the long because we called the range bound, and I even emailed yesterday morning. I called. We could possibly see 63.00, and that was our target. Not that I'd have run it up all the way up there, because that's not my style. Like I said, I like to make 10, 15 points, but I trade, high point value, pound point, sorry. And then we got our MC slammer set up, which actually failed. We would have expected we call it a slammer into the 00 or 50, and this one failed. And they work about 80% of the time, so you just have to accept it. There is a resistance level at 62.95. If you go back on the charts a little bit, but I was long. I lost 7 points on that. Fair enough. It's a one-to-one risk reward, a little bit better, and they don't always work. So we put our hands up. People what took the loss. That's fine. I was surprised that 55 held, to be honest. But it just goes to show, it's a Monday. No Asia, no high impact news. Traders will just be. They made some money on the way up, and now they don't really care. So again, the fact we didn't even bother 63.00 means that we're interested looking at the range again, and then we just sit and sit and sit. And I went out for food and stuff. There was nothing to do. 80 was a key level actually. If you look on your hourly chart, we did get a bit of a dip behind it, but once we broke above it, I did put in the chat. I can see it's going back up to test the highs, and that's exactly what happened. And we get this lovely double top, which is one of the best setups you'll ever get. But you have to wait. Some people in our room have been there from 8 o'clock till 1 o'clock. Although, we look to trade the opening couple of hours, and then it's a case of waiting. But you just put your alerts. There's no need to sit and watch the chart all day. You can just put alert up on Capital or IG or whatever else you use to go off at 62.90. When we expect a range bound, we look to play the 10% ranges. And that's exactly what we got. And we did get an email from a non-member this morning, which Simon answered, saying he couldn't spot the double top on a 5 minute. Well, you can spot the double top on virtually any time frame. It's a high of the day. You've always got to be aware of, especially on the FTSE, which is all I trade. Apart from the DAX pre-FTSE Open, we've got a couple of setups on that. For those people that need to go to the office at 9 o'clock, we can trade it from 7. As soon as the spread changes, but the high of the day is the high of the day, and I know Simon called it live in the room, and virtually everyone made money. Certainly, for anyone that traded it, made money, because we had high of the day. We had the fact that it didn't want to go to 63.00 at 10 o'clock. It's 1 o'clock. Who's going to be buying at 1 o'clock? That's just a pure test. You can see how quickly it rejected. You can wait for the rejection candle, or even wait for the moving averages to cross over if you want to use moving averages, and then just go short. And that was it. And then it just drifts down, back down to 60. So that was a relatively easy 20 points if you want to hold, and the rest of it's all chop. So that is why we call what we're looking at. We don't always get it right, of course, but it just gives us the focus for the day, and after that it's been just a little rubbish. And for today, I expect a little bit more of the same, to be honest, but we'll see what happens. I've not done the email yet. But we're mid-range, we're back down at 70, it's out of hours, and it's early, so we'll see what happens in Asia, and then we'll do the email as usual. Anyone's got any questions, send us an email. traders@futseday.co.uk or simon@futseday.co.uk, or look on the website for more information. Thanks so much for listening.